it is very reasonable to say three of the biggest plays of this game, whether that's offense, defense, whatever, at least three of the top six plays were all made by Isaiah Oliver in clutch situations. Now, the 49ers rolled out early with Ambry Thomas. He was the starter outside. Demo was inside. After the very first drive, there was an issue with Samuel Womack's knee. So then Oliver gets his due. He's called up. Demo goes back outside. Demo had a great game. I know he gave up some underneath stuff, but Demo played incredible. Isaiah Oliver, comes out, has a missed tackle, gives up a first down, and the dude's laying on the ground. All he had to do was touch him. He didn't even do it. Then he goes out and gets a face mask call that's ridiculous. Injured a dude, just hands high, right off the line of scrimmage. Can't do that as a corner. Another free first down, and it's just looking like, oh my gosh, this is who Isaiah Oliver is going to be. But then he goes out and makes this incredible tackle to force a 4th and 2 at midfield. It was the 49ers' first stop. That was in the third quarter. It was the 49ers' first stop. Very next drive, gets an interception off a tip ball. Was he in great coverage? No. But he seized the moment and got the first turnover of the game. Then, late in the fourth quarter, with 2 minutes left, the Rams go for it on 4th and 1. He freaking blitzes straight through the C gap, blows up the play, didn't make the tackle. Bosa got the tackle and the tackle for loss. Turnover on downs. And so you could honestly say Isaiah Oliver was responsible for ending not one, not two, but 3 drives by himself. By himself. And I have not been a fan by any stretch. I went to all the training camps. I went to the preseason, all those things. No, he did not fit. But even today with Samuel Womack out with injury, I got to tell you right now, that dude was making plays on special teams, thumping people. I thought he got injured. He hit somebody so hard. That's what I wanted to see. And if you watch the film breakdown with us this past week, I kept saying 26 don't fit, man. He does not fit the mold, the prototype of what the 49ers want as a defense or an offense. He's not physical. It's not there. He brought it today, man. And so I just got to say, I am very, very, very impressed with just how with how he played. I thought he was awesome. What's up, Tommy? Appreciate the super chat. He says, is the D line overrated, John? How are the Salamanders 2-0? Now, if we look at just the quarterback hits, we had 6 quarterback hits. That's pretty damn good. Sacks, yeah, that's a problem. We had 1 sack. We also had a roughing the passer penalty. Bosa pulled 2 holding calls against him. So it was funny because, in my notes, if you listen to our preview, I said we'd get 3 sacks, 7 quarterback hits, 1 interception. Well, we got 1 sack, we got 6 quarterback hits, and we got 2 interceptions. I'll take that all day. I would trade 2 sacks for a pick. I prefer the interception. That's just the way that it is. So, the first half was gross, disgusting defensively. They only had 3 possessions in the Rams. They only touched the ball 3 times. All 3 of them were over 8-play drives. Took the entire time, and they scored on every one of them. And it was just like, what the hell is happening? Well, sometimes you got to make adjustments, and you go in, and you know what, Wilkes, you got to tip your hat to him. Listen to after coming out of the half, okay? And we'll address the first half. I'm not trying to pass that off because that needs to be talked about. Let's figure that out. But, I put out there, on Twitter, and I was just saying, this is where the 49ers are going to figure out what the hell Steve Wilkes is made out of. Because as a DC, you put together a plan, but you're reactionary. As a DC, you're reactionary. You can try to force certain things and whatever else. You have to react to what is given to you, what the offense is trying to do, and you got to take that away. A lot of times that's difficult to do on the sidelines. Once you have time and going through everything, especially with special teams and whatever else, it takes time. So a criticism could be, well, he should have made the adjustments sooner. But listen to the drives after the first half. They go in there, the locker room. He makes all the adjustments. Listen to this. Second half, first 49ers defensive drive. They get their first stop of the game. Isaiah Oliver, the tackle on 3rd down to force 4th down. Second drive of the game, interception, Isaiah Oliver. Third drive of the game, 3 and out. Bosa drew a hold on that one. Fourth drive of the game, gave up a field goal. Bend but don't break. Fifth drive of the game, you got the interception. Sixth drive of the game, turnover on downs. Seventh drive of the game, guess what? Yep, another interception. So what else do you want, right? So it's a tale of two halves, right? It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Charles Dickens. That's what should be the thumbnail. Because it was two different stories, is what it was. But for them to make the adjustments that everybody wanted and needed, I think that's huge. I really, really do. Now, excuse me, appreciate all the super chats. Let's get to some of these, Clayton. Can you jump up and join us and read a couple of these super chats?
Yeah.
Screaming. So we gotta go ahead. Let's start with Devin.
Awesome. Well, Devin, first of all, thank you for the super chat, my friend. He writes to us, man, Brock lost his 2-touchdown streak, and just to mess with my big brother. That's my third round kicker, though. Keep kicking butt, JC.
So I'll say this. Brock Purdy played well. He should have had that second touchdown. He misread the blitz late in the fourth. They brought the all-out zero blitz. McCaffrey read it correctly because the linebacker blitzed inside. You go where he alleviates his position, the hook to curl zone. Brock threw it out. And so that should have been that second touchdown. It really should have been. But yes, I think the 2-touchdown streak ends, which hurts. But a better streak is he still scored 2 touchdowns. They just weren't 2 passing touchdowns. And now the 49ers have scored over 30 points in 8 games that Brock Purdy has started. 8 out of 11. And that's with the Eagles game in there. So you're talking about somebody that just continually puts up 30 points. And so whenever you're looking at the scoreboard, the Niners won 30-23. The over-under was like right at 45. So you eclipse that. But if the Niners offense is just going to be, their baseline is going to be around 30 points, they just showed today, you could have a killer half against the 49ers and score on every single possession. Doesn't matter. You're still going to be down multiple scores going into the end of the game because when the defense struggles, the offense picks it up because they have been that consistent so far. So, and then we got to talk some Jake Moody. What were your thoughts on Jake Moody, Clayton?
Man, I just remember being at that draft show and the reactions and the vitriol. It was, I think, a little blown out of proportion. And I gotta say, hats off to the guy. I mean, I'm kind of about the same age as him, and I can only imagine finally getting to like your big goal, right? Getting to the NFL, you've made it, and then immediately you go on social media. God, I hope that guy doesn't have social media, and just seeing all of the hate and all of the naysayers coming out and be like, why would you spend a 3rd round pick on him? And then that first game when he was missing left and right and all over the place, it's awesome to see him really start to hit his stride here in the beginning of the season. And I think he had a fantastic game, save for that one kick that did go out of bounds on the kickoff there.
And this is part of being a rookie, is you're going to do some of those things. So first off, the game starts off, or we got the ball first, but we go down, score a touchdown, and then he does the first kickoff for the 49ers. It's through the end zone. It was awesome. I was just like, yay. Like, Mitch Wisnowski should not be kicking off. It should be him, but he was injured. And so it was like, yes, now we don't have to worry about teams getting amazing field position against our defense to start. Then the second kick goes out of bounds. They start on the 40-yard line. That's the equivalent of a 15-yard penalty, similar to what Dre Greenlaw got, right? Like, it just makes a difference. But on the positive side, which is the most important thing, kid nailed a 57-yard field goal at a crucial moment. And so he goes 3 for 3 on field goals. He makes every single extra point. And so, if we could consistently get that type of production from him, that's 12 points. You won by 7. If you missed one of those field goals, then you're talking, the Rams could have went for a touchdown to tie the game late. But I do also want to say Sean McVay is a better. He needs to be he needs to be investigated by the NFL, because that dude kicking a field goal late to cover the spread, 100% chicken shit move. That's all I'm going to say.
time for the 49ers Rush podcast.